Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between MaDFrog and Wibang here on Steps of War. I believe this is game 2 in a series of 3 that I have. MaDFrog spawning over here on the south side of the map as the red Zerg player. Meanwhile, on the north side, we have Wibang spawning as the purple Protoss here on Steps of War. Now, Steps of War, one of those really small maps as always, only 2 spawning locations and a very short walking distance between these 2 locations. So it should be interesting as we may see some sort of early rush play. Now, out moves Wibang with 1 probe, and the probe may try to do a low ground pylon, and then perhaps put a gateway and then a forge here, forcing those Zerg units to try to do some sort of run around in order to get up this ramp. We already see the probe now moving out across the map. We'll be able to do some early scouting. Taking a look at the production tab, Overlord and drone still being trained. Most likely MaDFrog sitting at 13 or only 12 over 18 food right now. So, and does not have any additional larvae, so didn't do any sort of extractor trick, and now going for an extractor before a spawning pool. So very interesting play, as we should be seeing some metabolic boost, and usually when you see the extractor before a spawning pool, that does mean and indicate that there will be more of an early rush and early pressure. So we'll see how Wibang responds. Well, yeah, he is going to throw down a forge first instead of a gateway first. He will be able to put down perhaps 1 cannon here and then another cannon here, and then perhaps a gateway here, trying to protect this very vulnerable location, and then perhaps even another pylon. Out moves this drone gonna walk up, and now a double pylon placement down over here on the low ground. However, this pylon, or I believe this probe, is now stuck on this location, will not be able to get the necessary cannon on that backside. So that is going to be a little interesting as MaDFrog now moves out with 2 drones. Those 2 drones over there as another probe going to be coming in over here. So that probe will be able to drop in another cannon at this location, and what this does is it causes a lot of issues. And for a Zerg player, the Zerg player unable to get that hatchery down over here on this low ground. And a very common tactic now in the Korean servers, now also being adopted in the European servers as well. We should see the metabolic boost, or we may even see an upgrade to tier 2 for Hydralisk, or perhaps even a creep tumor. One of the things that a Zerg player can do in this particular instance is go ahead and throw down a creep tumor and then get spine crawlers into this position right here and right here, because Wibang is not going to have any sight onto this high ground. He will not be able to shoot down and take down these spine crawlers. Spine crawlers also have a range of 7, so these pylons will get taken down without any real issue. Back over here, we finally see the gateway now being warped in as well on this low ground, as that forge is now going to have 1 photon cannon. Back over here, MaDFrog limited to 1 base play for a little bit of time. We should interested to see if he's going to go for a creep tumor first, or if he's going to go for a spawn larva first. He is limited currently just because he is sitting in 1 base, and now taking a look at this queen. Is it going to be a spawn larva or not? Outmove some Zerglings. Zergling's going to try to intercept this probe. That probe is going to be very low on hit points. Going to have a spawn larva. Probe will go over here and head over by this photon cannon. Photon cannon will provide plenty of cover. Back over here, Wibang now with 1 photon cannon here. Taking a look, there is a gap in between those 2 buildings. Oh, very nice. This is some sort of like death alley here. In order to be able to run past, you need to come in here single file through this location, run past a gateway and a pylon even to get up this ramp. So Zerglings will not be able to do any run by very easily. Back over here, we now see that Baneling nest already completed, and we're going to see 4 Baneling. Oh, wow. A lot of Banelings all of a sudden being trained up. So these Banelings, the Banelings, I believe, costing 25. That's the so getting a lot of Banelings, and these Banelings will just be able to roll over here and take down those pylons. As long as that Baneling tries to run in towards the center, we'll be able to get that damage in. And now in comes that photon cannon. Photon cannon gets 1 hit, 2 hit. However, down goes those, and now this photon cannon will be exposed and unpowered. We should see a hatchery now coming in. Yeah, hatchery over here on this low ground expansion, as now Wibang has finished off this wall in. So essentially, any sort of play will be very difficult. Zerglings, a pylon being placed down just in time. However, those Zerglings may be able to perhaps get a little bit of pressure. That pylon just going to be sitting there and trying to just warp in, as now a photon cannon able to get in some shots and take down some of those Zerglings. So this photon cannon already getting 2 quick kills, may get a 3rd no, and then canceling that pylon. So beautifully done by Wibang in order to protect himself in this particular situation. Warp gate now being upgraded over here at the Cybernetics core, and we should have a 3 gate with that forge over here. Should be interesting to see if whether or not Wibang goes for the level 1 weapons upgrade, as MaDFrog is currently limited to only banelings and roaches. Level 1 weapon upgrades on those zealots will be able to kill these zerglings 66% faster. Back over here, yes, level 1 weapon upgrade already being researched. Taking a look at the harvester count, we see 25 harvesters for MaDFrog, Wibang sitting on 23. At some point, Wibang does want to take advantage of the fact that he has this natural expansion so well protected. So just going to be a matter of time before that happens. Zealots will be able to move in over here. We do see one overlord, and that overlord is going to get taken, not going to get taken down, just shoot away by the sentry. Sentry only has a range of 5. Although it does have a damage or a DPS of 6, will not be able to sustain that damage and shoot down that overlord. Overlord down to 109 hit points there. Perhaps a second sentry would have been useful. Should be training up more and more sentries. No, going in fact and training up zealots. And I would have liked to see sentries. I think sentries would have been a good call if you could warp in more sentries and then warp in another nexus over there by saving those minerals. However, yeah, 2 sentries, and now all of this off of 5 gates. So this is going to be a 5-gate push in just a moment. Zerglings sitting over here on the low ground will be able to intercept. We do not see, we currently have 1 spine crawler and 2 spine crawlers now being morphed in, and roaches joining this army. I do not see an upgrade to tier 2 anywhere from MaDFrog, so it is just going to be roaches, banelings, and zerglings so far. No Hydralisk or Mutalisk. Zealots now moving out very, very slowly. Level 1 weapons upgrade nearing completion, and now this Nexus expanding and pushing at the same time. This early aggression should be pretty well rewarded. Back over here, we see Wibang continuing to just having a pretty sparse base. And now Wibang has a very, very small window of opportunity to really deal any sort of damage. Down goes this Zergling over here, and he needs to make sure that MaDFrog is not taking the tier 2. Mutalisk could have caused a little bit of problems over here, but knowing that this expansion is down over here and roaches, he does not have to worry about anything just quite yet. Moving the spine crawler over into this closer position to try to protect any sort of run in, and now Wibang just clearing out these Elnaga watchtowers, making sure that there is no additional site. MaDFrog moving out with this overlord, wants to see if there is a nexus here and perhaps try to figure out exactly what to do. We do have those spine crawlers now coming in, and a decent amount of banelings as well. So 7 banelings over here. We do see a lot of sentries. Those sentries are going to be pretty weak to those banelings. However, one of the promising factors for these sentries is they have force fields. Those force fields will be able to protect some of these units, as Zerglings are now trying to put in a little bit of pressure. And Zerglings doing a quick run by. Down it goes. Roaches, and now warping in another sentry. Force fields coming in, and all those roaches now getting stuck. However, not getting that another force field in the right position could have been able to capitalize and deal a lot of damage. More stalkers now being warped in as well, but without any immortals to deal with these spine crawlers, these roaches will be able to deal a lot of damage. Back over here, we see Wibang with 2 idle probes. Should probably, not going to start rallying off of this position over here as this army outside this front door, a very large or larger army for Wibang sitting at 1875 versus MaDFrog's 1100. Now warping in an extra sentry. However, that stalker will not be able to get any significant damage done, as these one Zergling getting taken down. However, a fourth spine crawler now being warped in as well. So roaches continuing to scamper. We should be at tier 2. Yes, we are at tier 2. No movement speed upgrade yet, and it looks as though Wibang will not be able to capitalize on this large army that he was able to get early on in this game. Taking a look, we do have the robotics facility now being placed down as Wibang tries to regroup and try to get his composure once again. Level 1 weapons upgraded, level 1 upgrades on that stalker as well, but still unable to break the defensive position of MaDFrog. MaDFrog now getting that spire will be able to get a lot of Mutalisk. You can already see him saving up that gas, sitting at 550 gas. I'm assuming that MaDFrog will just continue to train up more overlords, currently supply locked at 76 over 76. One pylon over here will get taken down by these Zerglings, and MaDFrog obviously knowing about this pylon as it was warping in units over here, and now these destructible rocks will get destroyed, and a hatchery will get placed over here. And really still waiting for the spire taking 100 units of time to build, but as soon as that spire is completed, really waiting for more overlords. I'm kind of surprised that MaDFrog's only training 1 overlord. Probably needs about another 2 in order to get the number of Mutalisk that he really wants. Mutalisk do in fact cost 2 food each, so currently he's only able to train up 4 Mutalisk. Mutalisk, as this Spire is now nearing completion, needs an additional 20 units of time to complete. And off of that, we should see about 10 Mutalisks in the sky, causing a lot of harassment. We do see Wibang with gateways in the back over here. So this is a 7 gate with a robotics facility. However, no Stargate. And that may be a little bit of an issue for Wibang, as the Mutalisk will be able to cause a lot of harassment. You already see the level 1 weapons upgrade, 8 Mutalisks now being trained. Currently supply lock should get an additional 2 more in just a moment. Currently sitting on 12 larvae, so MaDFrog keeping on top of that spawn larva ability continuously, as now most likely a drone will be growing up to hatchery in just a moment. An observer quickly spotting out this drone, knows that there will be an expansion there at some point in the future. Wibang now with 1 photon cannon and 1 pylon. Back over here, we now see this group of Mutalisks moving out. 8 Mutalisks will be able to harass these probes very, very easily. That photon cannon out of position will not be able to deal any damage, and probes now being forced to pull back. Stalkers do not have Stalker Blink, so will not be able to give chase towards those units that well at all. So these Mutalisks with their high mobility, movement speed of 3.75, just going to cause a lot of pressure and harassment. The high mobility of Mutalisks makes it feel like the Zerg player has a much larger army than they really do, just because they're able to cover so much. Down goes an observer here with the help of an overseer. As these Mutalisks now move out, the hatchery has been placed down. There is a nexus that has been completed over here for quite some time, sitting on 25 energy, and now Mutalisks coming in to try to just destroy more and more of these probes. Stalkers now coming in from behind. However, the Mutalisks just ignoring that cliff completely, and now coming into the main base, and now going to start trying to destroy some pylons. 1 pylon has been taken down. There is a decent amount of cannons over here. Cannons fire a little bit more slowly than spore crawlers or missile turrets, so they're not as effective compared to those. But in comes some more Mutalisks. Mutalisks now just fighting back and forth. Sentries need to throw up a guardian shield. However, those Mutalisks, 11 of them in the air, one of them low on hit points, should be able to get a couple transfusion back. MaDFrog having a lot of energy as these Mutalisks continue. However, Roach is now pushing over here, able to come in and deal some damage as well. There is some Colossus, and now just splitting the army. So these Mutalisks coming over here, trying to take after and take down this pylon here. 1 pylon will get shot down. Photon cannon continuing to try to use that range of 7. However, Stalkers now moving in as well. No Twilight Council yet, so those Stalkers are not going to be that effective against those Mutalisks until we finally see some Stalker play. Mutalisks are at level 1 weapons upgrade, no level 2 weapons upgrade just quite yet, as these Mutalisks now returning home. However, more and more Mutalisks coming in from MaDFrog, and a couple of quick transfusion, and now this army of 21 Mutalisks will be able to deal a lot of damage and perhaps put a lot of bit of pressure. These Stalkers and these Sentries, not enough anti-air in order to deal with 21 Mutalisks, especially now that they have that level 1 weapons upgrade. 3 more Mutalisks going to round it off to 1 full control number of Mutalisks in the sky. Photon cannons have finished warping in though, so those Mutalisks deciding to pull back. No real Psystorm, no real way to stack that damage. Stay tuned for part 2 of this replay between MaDFrog and Wibang here on Steps of War.